Nsyilxcen, and my English name is Herman Edward, and I live here in the Similkameen. I grew up here, and I've lived here all my life, and I went to residential school, and I've been there for 1 year, and some went a lot longer, but sometimes even in 1 year you can get violated in your life, and you go through a lot of trauma. And we went through a lot of that when we were there in just that 1 year. We went through a lot of whippings and everything. But other than that, today I find that I can overcome anything, because that pain, I had to go through healings and to change myself, to do what I like to do now. And that's why today I'm going to be introducing you to my flutes, because they were my helpers for my healing. My music is my strength. Today I look at our people. We're like the salmon, and we go south and then we come back, and we're all growing up. But that's how it was when we were in school. Like, we went through education. A lot of our people went in for the 12 years, and then they come back. And then, of course, the spawning happens, and the kids are here and all that. But the thing but the one thing about that is that even though they went through a lot of pain, like myself, I only went 1 year, but I still discovered the pain of the school. But other than that, I overlooked all that through the healing, the sweats and everything to get stronger. Then I started to work with my elders to counsel me and get me stronger. Then I started looking at what I wanted to do with me. As first priority for me was healing, because I was hurt really bad, and not only physically, but emotionally, but also there was sexually, And so in life, that if we can overcome all that, we can go move on ahead. And that's what I did, and I started playing more music because of the pain. My music, it would carry me away. It would take me into places where I wanted to be. So when I started playing music, and I started playing and playing, and in the years of my music, what happened was I could tell from like back in the 80s, I was very aggressive. And then as I got into the today, I'm listening to music from 20 years ago. There was a lot of aggressiveness in my music. But as time went, it gotten better, and it had more. I put more feeling into it, and it wasn't as aggressive. It wasn't as painful inside. I could tell through my music, I was not healthy, and that's why I say music was my helper. It had me look back at where I was, and then I've always wanted to put my music, on in motion picture or something. Like, I've always thought music was, to me, beautiful. And the first time I started playing music, it was in 1973. And at the time, the person that got influenced by the name of Dr. Nakoya. And he was a real nice flute player, and he's the one that came up with Amazing Grace. And later on in time, in the 80s, I done my music in 1967, and then after that, this one guy took the music even further than myself, was Carlos Nakai. But I used to get angry, but then I finally started thinking, well, if it wasn't for these kind of people that were better at music, I would have never made it. I had to have this competition, and for me, I had to win. And the harder it was, the more I worked, and then I had to work harder and harder. And when I first put in my music for the Aboriginal People's Choice Awards last year, that was good. I enjoyed that trip. But before the Aboriginal People's Choice Awards, I went to NAMA, and that was in New York. And when I took my music there, It was kind of different. I had more competition there, and I still managed to make it in, uh, getting nominated after they done all, like they went through all the music and they cut out a lot of the artists. And then I got in there, and I was kind of glad I made it in. And then for the People's Choice Award, I made it in too. That was another good thing for me. I enjoyed that, and I thought it was great, even just to have my name mentioned and do the red carpet walk. I mean, I had to call Joanne, because in both times I called my partner Joanne, because I could not go alone, and she was my greatest support. And she's helped me with both CDs I'm working on, and she's done all the write-up for me. And I done the rough draft of typing, and then she'd go through and edit it to make it more clear for people to read what I'm trying to say. Because of my broken English, I needed help, and I'm always grateful to her because she's done a lot for me. She's my greatest supporter. How I kept my language is through my parents, because they never went to school in their life. And then when I come back from residential school, my dad says, you look at that door, and you go out that door, you talk all the English you want, you come back, you got to use this language. And he's talking in the language in the Okanagan. He says, this is the language you're going to talk to me in. And if I want to know something in the English language, then I'll ask you then you tell me how to say it. He says, that's why you're going to school, so you don't have to struggle like I have. And so that's why I find that no matter what traumas our people went through, a lot of our elders were so strong that they pushed the language so hard, and they taught our culture. And that's what made us strong today. And through the ceremonies, and today I am teaching the kids, and I'm always taking time to explain why things are done a certain way. Even like kids, sometimes you tell them something, say, I don't want to do that. I say, well, why not? But then I said, because this is the way things are done. You have to do it this way. And you have to respect the language, because the language is your responsibility. Not only mine, but yours. This language is yours.